Hi gang, Scott here. I've got a tip for you about iPhone photography today and capturing longer exposures. And you may be scratching your head, Scott, you're a filters guy, you're a Sony shooter guy. I definitely am. I love my filters, I love my Haida kit, and I will continue to use that. But there are times when you're either in a pinch or you just need to do something quickly and you can't set up your full rig for your filters. Maybe you don't have it with you. Maybe you're traveling with family or friends. Or in my case, I was hosting a workshop and I'm focusing on the students, but I still want to capture some nice longer exposure photos. Well, we can do that with the iPhone and fundamentally turn a photo like this into a photo like this. And it's a feature of the Live Photos option in modern iPhones, modern iOS devices that give you this long exposure option. And there's a couple of things to be aware of when you're capturing these types of photos, and then I'll show you how to turn it into a long exposure right in your mobile device. So let me hook up the phone to this computer so we can really see this screen. I'll show you a couple of things so you can do these types of things in the field yourself. The first thing is capturing the photo itself. Now this is not a dynamic scene, but I just want to show you the different controls that are on the iPhone. You'll notice the area where it has RAW. This is in the lower right corner. And there's a live photo option. I'll tap on that. You'll notice that live just blinked up at the top of the screen and RAW is now disabled. Well, that's like caveat number one. When you're capturing a live photo, you're really capturing a video. You're not capturing a raw photo, it's a video. And so that is going to limit what you can do post-processing wise because it's not a raw image. You'll get one of these HEIC or JPEG images to work with ultimately. But the technique is still really darn cool. So here's some real examples of this. And when I scroll to the next photo, notice it moves for just a moment, right? You see a little bit of a video and then it freezes. A little bit of a video and then it freezes. Well, that's what a live photo is doing, capturing this little snippet of video, and then it's selecting a frame out of that to show you as the photo. Now, here's where you can take one of these live photos and turn it into a long exposure. So in your mobile device, you'll tap once on the photo. You see it has live in the upper left corner. There's a long exposure option. So I'll choose that. The device thinks for a minute, and then we see the long exposure. Now you'll notice that it punched in a little bit when that long exposure was made. That's like caveat number two, or just thing to be aware of, is you're capturing a video when you capture a live photo. And so if your hands are moving ever so slightly during that second or second and a half that the video is, maybe it's 3 seconds, you're going to have some motion. And so, well, what's the software doing? Think of that video being sliced up into a whole bunch of individual still frames. They need to be aligned. And then there's some sort of logic to get the smoothness going on things that are moving through the frame. Well, that motion usually means we lose things at the edges. So, you can see it much clearer on the big screen. Here is the still image of the live photo, so one slice, and then we see it punched in when we get the long exposure look on it. So there is a punch in there, before, after, can see it move in, and it's used things like the rocks, the stationary elements to do that alignment. So just like with your normal long exposure photos, you need some stationary element that's going to anchor the photo so that your water or whatever's moving, traffic, whatever it might be, around that stationary object gives that flow. But when you are capturing that live photo, give yourself a little bit of a wiggle room at the edges, take a step back or take the phone and move it closer to your body so you get that little extra bit of surround the edges, especially if you have like the sky or something very close to the top of the frame. Give yourself a little breathing room. And then finally, once you have the photo in here, I'll hit the I key. You can see that this is an HEIC photo. And we can process it just like anything else. I've done a little processing on it, straightened my horizon, and I have a really solid photo here. Nice long exposure, has that half second, 3/4 second feel to it. And I did all that courtesy of the iPhone and using a live photo, and then in the Photos app on your phone, switching it to a long exposure. And when you can't set up your filters or you don't have them with you, whatever the reason might be, and you see a nice scene where, oh wow, a 1 second exposure or a 2 second exposure, this would look really nice. Try it out. Try this live photo with your phone, and you'll be pleasantly surprised what you can get from it. I hope you found the tip useful, and if you got questions about it, go ahead and drop it below. You got other tips about capturing these types of photos with your iPhone? Share them with us so we can all learn together. And until next time, my name's Scott Davenport. Have fun.